Well, hello and welcome to segment 3. This is an interview with Jackie P from Jackie G. We are so excited to be together in Gen West and Gen East of the United States General Market Team USA, JEFRA. I wanted to do a little version of Jackie today, and I'm sure we'll have many more. We will never hear it all in one segment, but this is a first prelude for us to introduce Jackie. What did she do in her field career, and how did she do it? So we're going to do a little mini segment today and continue more as we go through this first quarter. So while it's fresh in her brain before she forgets, we're going to grab her, right, Jack? So, all right. So Jackie P, I'm going to just ask you a few questions, then we're going to the leaders.
Let's go.
First, so when you look at the compensation plan
Mhm.
of the business you were in, Perfectly Posh, correct?
Mhm.
Okay, perfect. And you were there how many years?
6.5.
Beautiful. So how old, if I can ask, how old were you when you started?
I was 33, I think,
Excellent. Okay.
when I started, and I had a brand new baby. I had just had my second son, or my first son, my second child. So I was also I had many feelings when I first started. And yeah, it was a wild time.
So the first year, how did you know how to get started, and how did you get started, and how did you know what you wanted to do?
So I didn't. When I bought the kit because I was a sad person who desperately wanted to take care of herself. And one of my girlfriends was like, "Hey, check this stuff out." And I was like, "Okay." And I bought the kit because it was the best deal that I could find. And I just had a baby and I felt like that was responsible. So the kit came and I started rifling through it. And I smeared a mask on my face like a feral animal and was like, "Wait a minute. I feel like a person. Like I feel like a whole person again for the first time in a year." Um, so then I was like, I'm just gonna like start a little group on Facebook. Like nobody will come, it'll be whatever. But I started a little group and I told my friends who were also in the same season of life that I was, that like, guys, I put this mask on my face and I went from animal to human in no time flat. Like you have to try this. And that little group of 5, 6 people grew to 10, 15 people and grew to 500, 600 people kind of before I realized what was happening. And I had girls joining with me and I had people coming to me and saying, "We have to take this to my friends. They're going to love it." So in that first 3, 4 months, I took a kit that I wasn't sure I even wanted and turned it into what would be like your district manager level. And then 6 months later, I promoted to what would be your district director level, or maybe 2. And then a few months after that, I hit your ambassador level and I stayed there for the next 6 years, basically. And how I did it was I told everybody what I felt when I used my product. I told everybody how I felt to be bringing in money into my home again for the first time. My husband's a teacher, guys. We lived frugally on surprise for most of our lives. And we were actors before that, so we were very comfortable being very poor.
Mhm.
But I told them how I felt. I shared how I felt being able to like run to the grocery store, buy diapers, and not even think about it because it was fine. And like it turned into something that changed my entire life. Like my entire existence is different because of what a direct sales company showed me I could do.
So as you started, all right, so you're kind of posting. I mean, tell us
Yeah.
like accidental postings that led to 500. And then what kind of going back to what, Vicky, creating some systems, and now you have a
Mhm.
vision and a drive. So how did you begin, and then how did you morph into, you kind of like that accidental leader, right? I started sponsoring and then they started sponsoring. Before you know it, I'm a DM1. And then it's like, Oh, but wait a minute. There's ambassador. So morph us through that story of practices that you did that started to create that.
Sure. So I started a Facebook page. This wasn't common practice really in 7 years ago. When I started to see a team forming, people that I didn't know, I formed a little Facebook group and I named my team something really cute. And we began to self-identify as this ragtag band of weirdos ready to take over the world, right? So as I'm learning with my feet on the ground. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm learning from people who've done it before. I'm learning from field trainers how to duplicate what I did and make it digestible for other folks. Because honestly, you guys, at the very beginning, I was doing many more parties a week than a normal person should be able to do. I was on Facebook running 30-minute events, often 2 in one night, 5 days a week. Like I was on the ground, beating down doors, begging people to take a look at my product. And it was insane. I worked a lot. I didn't sleep a lot, but I was having an awesome time. So I began to see what can I do to survive this so I don't have to do all of this work and keep doing it every time I bring somebody on. So I started this little team Facebook page and we had guides. What are they called? Guides now? Are they called files? We had guides that
Under guides, yeah.
guides still, yeah, walked you through your onboarding process, walked you through what it was like to do a launch party, walked you through what it was like to get on Facebook Live for the first time, walked you through all the things that you needed to know in order to duplicate the successes that we saw early on. And it worked like a charm.
Awesome. So let's do a number, then we're going to go to the audience. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So did you do, let me do a couple things. Did you do any in-home demonstrations, in businesses, tabletops? Were you out and about a lot? Because I know you have the kids. What, did you do anything out or was it all at home?
I moved to upstate New York when I was pregnant with that second child. So I hadn't made a lot of friends here. So I had one friend, her name's Linda. She's still a great friend to me now. And she was the manager at the apartment complex that we moved into before we bought our house. And she introduced me to everyone in the apartment complex. And we had a party, one party in the lobby of the apartment complex where I put out all of my cute little kit products and I showed everybody what I had to offer. And I was pregnant out to here, and they were just so kind and so receptive, and everybody tried everything. And truly that core group from that first in-person party, people still bought from me to the day I withdrew my contract.
Wow. So let's do a perspective. Then we're heading back for our final about 12, 13 minutes. And again, we'll do mini segments every time. Okay, leaders. So we're going to grab her while we've got her this first quarter at every leader meeting, and we appreciate it. All right. So in your, we've looked at the terminology a little bit. In your central branch. There she is. In your central branch. I love it. How many consultants did you have, direct and indirect, and including you, in your central branch?
My central branch was about 1,200 people.
1,200 consultants. Okay.
Hey, stop it.
Oops. Everybody, if we could hear mute. I heard someone yelling at a child. Sorry. Thank you. Okay. So 1,200. And was there a certain volume that group did every month?
They were upwards of 100 to 200,000 every month.
Okay. That's her central branch. Okay. Then how many customers did you service?
I would say, me personally, I serviced probably, I would say around 50 to 75 individuals a month.
Okay. And they were
that would be
orders, so you didn't have to place orders, all that. Everything was
all website.
You had a good subscription program, which we're revamping. So we're excited.
We had a good subscription program, and I had a sick customer relationship manager that reminded me to check in on every single one of those people. And it was just all on my phone, and I handled it.
Awesome. And then how many leaders, now you know there's central district, and then there's total district. So if we did wide and deep in Jaffa language, how did that look?
So I did the math since the last time we talked, and I had between 40 and 45 managers on my front line.
So first line, do you know how many levels deep you went?
I pulled the reports and I could only see 7 levels, but I ran deeper and I went 10 levels deep.
Excellent. Vicki Hacking is 10 levels deep. Okay.
Hey girl.
And I know, right? I think right now, Vicki, you're 19 wide. So just to give you perspective, okay, and she has about 100, Vicki has about comparatively 195 leaders right now, okay? So I just want you to see that comparison of how amazing Jackie was at building to ambassador in a very short time. And then maintaining it is also another deal. We all know it. We've gone up and down and in and out because we can't bank on people. We have to bank on new replenishment all the time, right? So let me go to the audience. I just wanted to do
really quickly. This is, I think, fun and impressive. I had not just me, but 3 more in a row. So me, 1, 2, 3 in a row that were all at ambassador level.
That
is natural order.
Boom, boom. Right there is true MLM.
Yeah.
Influencing people. You do it, but you have to develop them. That's where wealth comes from in direct sales, right? So, okay, let's go back. I'm going to take our spotlights. I'm going to take me out. Actually, let me do this so we can keep us to the view. Bear with me and get my better view that I want. And
I like it. You get what you want, girl.
You get what you want. Okay, I'm going to go here. All right. So here's what we're going to do, leaders. I'm going to take myself out of here. We are going to take a question at a time. So one simple question you'd most want to ask Jackie. Again, please don't think we're doing hours of this. We're just going to go to our 90-minute segment like we said, and then we'll keep adding segments each time. So a question. Anyone have the first question? Sarah Hippel, I saw your hand first. Take it away, Chica.
Mute. Okay.
There you go.
Hello.
What? Hi, Jackie. I can't wait to meet you in person. Anyways, what was, and would you say your key to bringing in new people as far as joining the business? Sponsoring is what we call it.
I had a couple of approaches to bringing in new folks. My very favorite way was to get really uncomfortable. And anytime that I saw someone be awesome or saw someone have a lot of influence like online, or I saw someone really being a community leader or a person that other folks trusted, I straight up said, you would be amazing at this job and here's why. And I got really uncomfortable, got comfortable being really uncomfortable and asking those people directly. I also loved to turn my hostesses. So if I had a party with a whole new group of folks that were ordering from the website and seeming to really enjoy their samples, I'd reach out to that hostess and say, okay, Trixie, I took care of your friends this time. You should take care of them next time because they are into it. And I would say 50% of the time we could turn that hostess into a new consultant who already had an established base. We turned that party into her launch party. We turned that group into her customer group and we just ran with it. Oh, you're muted, Sarah, come back to me.
Thank you so much. That's excellent. I did have one other question. So as far as posting, you know, I don't know if it's exactly the same to attract, you know, as far as let's call it marketing on social media.
Yeah.
What was your, I know you talked about just sharing what you loved. Was there anything else?
There's a lot of schools of thought on attraction marketing in general. And I could teach a 6-hour-long class on this, but I always tell my folks that you have to earn it. You can't walk around showing your cards all the time. You can't walk around just offering a sale, offering a join. You have to earn it. You have to earn your clout. right? So you better share service before you share an ask. And I can definitely teach a super long class on this, and we can coach all day long, but you got to earn it. I always went with a 9-to-1 model. I would do 9 serves before I could ask for anything from my audience. And yeah, we can definitely get into that at another time, but that's the higher level.
That would be awesome.
Of course, my pleasure.
Thank you.
Of course. Who do I don't see hands. Linda, I
Sorry,
see Linda,
Brittany.
right? Hands. Go
Mhm.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Hi, welcome, Jackie.
Thank
Very,
you.
very happy to meet you.
Thank you.
You obviously were very successful with Poshmark. What was it called?
Perfectly Posh was our company. Yeah,
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know the company.
it's okay.
You were very successful. My question to you is a little bit on the personal. What
okay.
made you decide to come to Jafra?
It was a really deeply difficult situation. Our company was purchased by another company. There was a lot of loss. There was a lot of trust breach. So when I tell you guys that I've been you, I was you this summer sobbing on a stranger's couch. Okay. Like, the beginning of July was a really personally difficult time for me, for my family, and for my team and my friends. So I decided to trust Carolee. I decided to trust Josh, who I've also known for a long time. And when Carolee told me, this is what you're meant to do, I know that you're meant to be here. Your gift is teaching and being a leader who leads leaders. I believed her, because I'll believe basically anything she says. And she believed in me. And so I made a really difficult decision to let go of a team that was family, but it was time.
Thank you for your honesty. I
Of
appreciate
course.
it.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
my pleasure. Michelle, I see a hand.
Hi there. Okay, can you tell me, when you were doing Facebook parties,
Mhm.
I think you were saying Facebook parties for your, so, and I think Perfectly Posh is similar face and body care and such. So
Yep.
did you send out samples, or what did you exactly do to make it successful for your hostess? Because I know we have great content, but I don't know if that's enough to get people to buy.
I don't have it in arm's reach right now, and I wish I did, but I would make like little bitty sample packs that I could send for one butterfly stamp, you know, the non-machinable stamps. I could send them for, I think they were 77 cents. Pop that in the mail with a little note and saying, check these out. This is for your friend's party. Check these out and come back to me at this time and invite them to the actual physical Facebook party. And if you can't make it, here's my number. Text me and tell me what you think. And I put a sticker on the back that says, take me directly to the bathroom, because laughter is helpful. And I always followed up with those folks. I don't know what the rules are, Jack, about samples and whatever here. I should probably find that out, huh? But I made my own. I don't know if we're allowed, but I will happily teach you guys if we're allowed. If we're not, that's okay. We can work around it. But I sent those samples to folks, and I followed up like a demon, because if you're not going to follow up, you're throwing money in the garbage.
Mm-hmm. So you sent one to each person that was going to be on the party. Is that what my understanding is? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I would have the guest, when we first started the Facebook party, I would have the guests send me a message with their address, and because then we're connected on Facebook without a barrier, and have them tell me if they have any allergies, a scent or an experience that they like, or a scent or an experience that they don't like. People have really big emotional reactions to sense memory. Some people would rather die than smell lavender, right? So you want to know that. But I would communicate with them and I would send them something personal to them and I would follow up like crazy.
Okay.
Can I dive into that one a little bit with you, Michelle? Okay, so how did you get so many hostesses?
I started in my VIP group, in my customer group, and I would say, okay, Laurie's not had a party in a long time. And I'd reach out to Laurie and I'd say, Laurie, are you up for it? And she'd say yes or no. And if it was a no, I'd say, okay, let's get you on the book for 3 months from now. So that she was in my book ready to host. And then I'd move on to the next person. And I went through in cycles. I tried to rebook everyone every 6 months so that they never didn't have a date on the calendar for their friends to refill. Okay. And so I would reach out to those hostesses, to those VIPs, and I'd say, introduce me to your network, and we'd have a party. And from that party, we would book 3 to 5 events, whether they were Facebook parties or an in-person, not in-person, but a Zoom skincare analysis situation, or somebody could take a catalog with some samples to their office and gather some orders. I booked 3 to 5 off of every event that I had, because then my funnel was never empty. My host funnel, I was constantly working to seek out new folks. I never once, and I am super freaking proud of this, I never once cold messaged a single person that I didn't know or wasn't connected to in some way. Because that's a rule for me, is to not be smarmy. And I'm not going to reach out to people who don't want to hear from me.
Right. So when you have a hostess, what's in it for them? And then what did you do? You set up a Facebook event, blah, blah, blah. So let's go through what's in it for the hostess first.
So for the host, I always worked whatever host program we had at that time. I would make a little booking bag. It was just a little $1 makeup bag that I got off of like AliExpress or something. And I'd fill it up with samples I called them deluxe samples, but they were really just bigger samples. And I would add like little extras, whether that was a makeup brush or a mask wand or something that was just a little extra. I put those together and I'd say, okay, first 5 people to book with me get this month's exclusive booking bag. Okay. And sometimes I'd hide little secrets in there, like little $5 Starbucks cards or a fun thing of like hair ties. Like my customers knew that if they grabbed a booking bag, they were going to get a little special secret. So the hostesses, I worked the hostess program and I would give 1 gift and that's it. Otherwise, I didn't spend money, like I didn't hemorrhage money getting my hostesses prizes, because they weren't trained from me that I was going to give them the kitchen sink every time they had a party. They just knew they were going to get free posh and that was awesome. Right?
So their gift was, did they get a percentage of their sales?
Yes. So the hostess program was a percentage in perks to shop for free and half-priced items, or we had a host exclusive store for a short time that we would leverage. And whatever that hostess program was, whether it was choices of product for X amount of money or something for free or cash to spend, whatever that was, I just made it sound super awesome and leveraged it for them in order to make it duplicatable for my team so that they didn't feel like they had to spend a bajillion dollars to be successful.
Absolutely perfect. So you book a Facebook event, you just go in, you set up an event.
Yeah.
What is the duration of time of that event for your hostess?
So those logistics vary and varied in the market, but I never like, can we have this in print? Maybe I can try. I never let them have more than a week in advance, because if they invited folks and then it got dry and stale and nobody came back to it, I wanted it to be active. So I primed with a couple of pretty posts, had her personally invite, not mass invite anyone ever, You personally invite. I gave the script to personally invite. Folks would come into the party. They would begin interacting because all of those pre-posts were questions like, what are your favorite scents? What are your skincare needs? Why don't you take this virtual skincare situation and tell me what your result was? And we made it really personal and we made it really interactive. So when the time for the party itself came, which was 30 minutes on like a Tuesday, at the local time of the host. So sometimes I was up late for California, but that's fine. The actual party itself was 30 minutes. I generally kept it under 8 posts, and they followed along. They were numbered, they were easy, they interacted, they got party points. There was a little baby giveaway at the end. And then the next morning, I would prompt them to order. And then the next morning, anyone who ordered would get a special shout out from me with a picture of what they ordered and congratulations, and you're going to love it. I'd call for orders again, and I would close that party 2 days later. It didn't linger on in forever, you know, it had a definitive beginning, a definitive end. And then when the hostess booked her friends' parties, we would promote them in there. Hey, come to Susie's party. Hey, come to Debbie's party. And we stayed networked with each other, and all those folks filtered back into my VIP group if that hostess didn't join.
So they were streamed live on Facebook, or did you do Zoom and stream it through that?
I
Your
did
30-minute ditty.
neither. It was all posts. If
Ah,
they got my
today's the
face,
day.
they got my face in pre-recorded video.
Got it. Okay.
So I have a question. Are you talking, when you say event, there's a Facebook event, but there's also a private group. So did you do it in the hostess's private group that you set up for just that?
Generally, yes. Events, the notifications for events got really hairy toward the end of 2021 and into 2022. The notifications stopped working for some users. So I went pretty exclusively to private groups.
Oh, okay, on Facebook, and then you could keep that group up because they could get in
Yeah.
if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And each group was different. Each hostess had her own group.
Yes, because in theory, I wanted that group to become that hostess's VIP group. I
Yes.
wanted that to become her customer group. And if it didn't, I could always revisit that group, drop in and just say hi with a pre-recorded video of my face and say, hi friends, it's been a while. If you're not in the VIP group, here's what's going on here this week. Would love to see you. Kisses, bye.
Excellent. So I'm going to take 1 or 2 more questions before we go. Go ahead, Cheryl. You're muted.
So
Okay.
how did you, if you had all these hostesses, you had tons of private groups. How in the world did you keep up with all of those groups? Because posting individually to them would have been a nightmare.
So I am the queen of the planner, and I listed out everything in a list of what I was using when I was touching back in. And if the group had turned into a VIP page, I would gently remove myself from it and let it ride. I made the host the admin. That became her baby. And if she wanted to invite me back in, cool. But I would slide back after we did her first party that I ran, the second party that we did together, and then I would let her fly on the third. So as I do, we do, you do for everything that I trained. And yeah, and then I would just keep a darn list. And anytime something sort of went sour, went, you know, inactive, I would look and make sure that all those people that I wanted were personally invited to my VIP. And then I would very quietly archive that group and move on. I did that every year or so. But when groups sort of evolved into something that you could stop managing and just kind of check in at times, and that's all I did. I didn't kill myself to keep track of everybody's stuff.
So now I've forgotten my question. It was so important.
I can answer Michelle's question quickly. Which CRM did I use? I personally used the Maven Amy system that has actually since shut down. And I'm
Oh.
currently on the hunt for a new CRM to share with you guys, if that's something that you're interested in.
Oh, yes, yeah.
We will for sure in the future. So I want to just come back in a little recap. Okay. So again, whether you have a new consultant who wants to earn Hawaii, you want to earn Hawaii. This is the growth spurt to get to fast growth, right? And guess what? It's nothing when I look at all of you on the screen that you didn't do, you don't know how to do, right? It's just for Jackie. It's, again, she did it all online because that was the era when she began 6 years ago, and she had babies at home. Whether it's in person, online, multitudes, the answer that she is kicking into is create your groups and be actively engaged. But she built through parties in any way, shape, or form that you are looking for. It is just the platform choice or multiple choices that you have. Customer care, you are all the best at. It's just hosting. If you looked over the last 3 years, we hosted Facebook events once a month. They're almost identical to what she's saying. The only thing different was we added in a live Zoom 30-minute party. Vicki did it last year, the company. We had a team that did it for 2 years. So the tools are there. The moral of this story is deciding, right? And just customer relations, and not just spamming, hey, buy a kit, but building good service, good customer follow-up, having relationship conversations. She did the 9 to 1, okay? 9 contacts, pieces of connections before you dive in, right? So, but how many people do you already have that with? That maybe you haven't re-invited. And it's the way we might be invited, not selling a kit. You'd be great. Come join. I want you here. You deserve this. You'd be awesome. Every day, be a day maker. How many, and you mean it from your heart. She didn't fake it, right?
I don't have the ability to fake it.
No, she's not. Believe me, we're totally ourselves every morning when we get up and meet at 6:30. So it's truly what you know. The tactics that she just said was how you would influence a Hawaii achiever, how you would promote a leader, how you will earn Hawaii. And again, 3 to 5 events a week. You could go back to, I'm going to go back to all of you. Go back to Belinda training. Dana and Neil, remember mega party training days. You either do one big party with 10 hostesses a week, or you do 10 separate parties. You launch them all on Mondays. You can pre-post everything. You can have it ready, and it ends on Friday, right? So, but again, there's all of those things that you might know. But I say, what's the strategy for you, January to April? How about January to call to action this challenge to earn free airfare, free hotel, to earn the samples from the advanced lab, right? That's coming. This is now. And we wanted to start with the intro of what you did. We'll pick this apart, believe me. We'll get into more details. But we want you to think about January. How's it going for you? We know there's a lot of change, but what are you doing to change the growth numbers you have for January, the first of 4 months? It'll be 25% gone. If she had a 50% hostess turnover, which is industry, 1 in 2 hostesses join. She used that one simple mechanism to grow to an ambassador in a very short time. And it changed her life, and it changed her family, and it changed everybody she influenced. So with 3 to 5 a week, imagine what happens, right? So again, it wasn't a magic hostess change. If they don't want Jafra's deep discounts on our top 40 selling products, 66% off and freebies, then fine, go ahead and do a percentage. You get 20% of the sales. Make up your own. So she just asked. At the end of the day, she got uncomfortable, and she asked and she asked and she asked and focused on them from her heart.
Yep.
So Jackie, I thank you for the first intro. It won't be the last, and we will continue to learn. And I just want you to know on the backside what her and I are doing. We're listening to your questions, we're watching, so that if there are target specific courses that we can do for you, from Jackie's experience to Jaffratizing it, and I can show her the back office what we have, and she could create it so it's for you and where we are today. That's what we're trying to do, is put together workshops for you, such as Facebook Party from what Jaffra has.
Yep. Yeah,
And-
I don't want to have to recreate the wheel here, guys. Like,
Right. So we don't
we
want to
can do
give
big stuff.
you, yeah, we don't want to give you all these documents of her past. We're going to see what Jaffra has and Jaffra ties it to you today. So if we don't share a million things, that's why. We're going to do it that way, but you have plenty out there. And so we wanted to bring you back to a starting ground today so that when we're done with our events, we're able to coach you to what your needs are. So keep on asking, keep on sharing. This was just the beginning, and we're going to take this quarter and just continuously bring you from her perspective, but also yours, right? It's the union of both that make it applicable today. So was this session helpful to all of you today? Yes.
Yay.
Yes.
Well, we want to say
Yay.
thank you and welcome to Jackie. We're just so excited to hear everything in your brilliance and walk in your shoes and duplicate what we saw you do and here in Jaffra. And we are so lucky to have you. So
Thank you. Gosh.
team. Thank you.